Last week, Prime Minister Kevin Rudd signed a deal that all refugees who travel by boat to Australia will be resettled in Papua New Guinea. Opposition leader Tony Abbott yesterday announced his response, Operation Sovereign Borders. Our reporter Ella Wilkinson followed the story across the Central West.
You may not think this is anything special, but people risk their lives every day to raise their children in a place like this. For most Australian children, the only bars they'll be behind are the ones they climb on in the park. Last Friday, Prime Minister Kevin Rudd announced a new policy that all refugees who come to Australia by boat will be resettled in Papua New Guinea. This decision has divided the nation.
I can understand some people's concerns, but I would also say that 1,100 people dying at sea is also quite a shameful experience.
This decision comes at an interesting time for the Central West, with a refugee forum scheduled at St Stanislaus College in August, organised by a local Bathurst refugee support group.
So we've been faithful to annually providing an opportunity such as we are on the 3rd of August to do that, believing in the concept that education is the key to social change.
The event will host a number of important speakers, including a representative of the UNHCR.
We are concerned when the issue does become politicised, because people who are found to be refugees are in fact victims, and they shouldn't be punished for moving on without documentation when in many cases they're not able to access that. And we think it would be much more helpful if it was depoliticised and treated as a humanitarian issue rather than a political issue.
Country Labor candidate for Calare, Dr Jess Jennings, says he understands the backlash to the policy, but maintains the government will be working to increase Australia's intake of refugees.
You can't use the phrase day of shame when at the same time Australia is actively increasing its refugee intake, so from 13,000 to 20,000 and looking to 27,000. So that's not something to be ashamed of at all.
Australia takes the highest number per capita of refugees under the resettlement program, and that's of course a generous contribution made by Australia in a sort of a spirit of responsibility sharing. But in terms of taking refugees who arrive spontaneously, Australia receives less than 2% of asylum seekers in the industrialised world. Roughly 800,000 are in need of resettlement through a so-called resettlement process, which is the queue people talk about. But there are less than 100,000 places worldwide to resettle refugees.
Ella Wilkinson, Grassroots News.